A serial butt sniffer has been arrested in California once again. A petition to rename an airport after Ozzy Osbourne is circulating. And a man woke up in the middle of an organ harvesting procedure. These are the weird stories on Weird AF News, your only source for daily weird news in the form of a podcast hosted by a comedian inside a closet. I think that covers it. A serial butt sniffer has been arrested once again in California. How many butts does one have to sniff before you're labeled a serial butt sniffer? Probably a lot of butts. Maybe this guy's identifying as a dog before we judge. Has anyone seen him pee on a tree? Yeah, maybe this is a furry we're dealing with. I've covered a lot of stories about furries on this podcast. Maybe this is a furry that's just crossed the line, just being a little too furry with the sniffing of the butts. Now, the article says a man who has been arrested multiple times for sniffing women's rear ends while in public was arrested once again this week for the very same crime of sniffing butts. This guy's addicted to crack. So sad, this crackhead. Someone needs to tell him that crack is whack, this butt-cheek bandit. His name is Khalees Karen Crowder. Is that a real name? Khalees Karen Crowder. He's 38 years old. He lives for the butts. I live for the butt. I die for the butt. I live for the butt. He was arrested by the police from the Burbank Police Department, which is somewhat near where I live. I mean, pretty crazy when you think about it. I could have crossed paths with the butt sniffer at some point. The serial butt sniffer. This guy just, maybe he only sniffs lady butts. Maybe he wouldn't sniff my butt. What an insult. What, is my butt not good enough to be part of your serial butt sniffing caper? It says this guy was arrested at a shopping center. Is that where he goes to sniff the butts? Shopping centers. Well, yeah, if you're going to a mall, yeah, you're asking for something, right? The malls are dying out. They seem like dangerous places. Like, who's going to a mall, right? Shop online like a normal person. If you go to a mall and someone sniffs your butt, I mean, you kind of deserve it is what I'm saying. All right, more details. The police responded to the nearby Nordstrom rack in the shopping center. Oh, man, it happened at a Nordstrom rack. I mean, come on. If you go to a Nordstrom rack, you got to be prepared for unsavory behavior. It's just like going to a Ross Dress for Less on some level. You know, of course this guy's in a Nordstrom rack, sniffing butts. Police originally responded to the rack for a report of a suspicious man loitering around the women's department. When the police arrived on the scene, they were informed that the suspect had already left the department store, but he was located a short while later at the Walmart across the parking lot. Now, the police used the store's security camera system to follow the crackhead as he moved around various departments, and then they observed him following a female customer into the women's department. The police observed the crackhead as he crouched behind the woman and engaged in, quote, lewd behavior by inappropriately sniffing her buttocks. That's the actual quote in the report. Lewd behavior, inappropriate sniffing of the buttocks. Well, you know, they say when you find something that you love in life, do it till it kills you. So this is what this guy's all about. It's a serial butt sniffer. I mean, just guys can't get enough of the butts. 1 butt, 2 butts, 3 butts. I cannot stop sniffing butts. Now it says the police confronted the serial butt sniffer named Crowder, and they eventually detained him. It was later revealed that he is a resident of Glendale and a registered sex offender, and he's been sniffing butts all around the area where I live, apparently. I venture into Glendale. It's the neighborhood right next door to me. I had no idea I was living in the midst of the butt-sniffing capital of Los Angeles. No wonder why my rent's so high. Now it says here the serial butt sniffer crackhead Crowder is currently on parole and has a documented history of similar arrests for similar crimes. They're not really spelling it out, but you can piece it together. He's just been, sniffing butts is his thing. It's just how it is. You know, some people are into feet. I covered a story about that man that was tricking real estate brokers. He would go to a open house and somehow get touching the real estate broker's feet. This is what these people are going to do. You can't even stop them. They're going to put a guy like this in jail, but that's not going to cure what he has. It's just not. He's going to get an opportunity to sniff a lot of butts in jail too, so that's not going to help. But even when he gets out, it's just going to be more butt sniffing. The article mentions an incident in August of 2023 where this Crackhead Crowder made headlines for committing the same act on a woman at a Barnes & Noble store in Burbank, which was also caught on video and led to a viral TikTok post. Well, I guess I must have missed that viral video, thank God. It says here, Crackhead Crowder also identified as the suspect in several prowling crimes. Oh, have you been prowling, Crowder? I haven't been prowling. No, I don't prowl. Prowl. He was arrested in August of 2023 on allegations that he was peeping into the occupied home of a family in Glendale. He was eventually released from custody for those crimes due to a jail overcrowding issue. Yeah, isn't that nice? Then we wonder why people don't want to vacation in the States. It's just like you arrest people for felonious crimes and then you don't even hold on to them at all. You just let them go. We just have too many bodies in the jail, so we have to let some of them go. So it's going to be the butt sniffers. Like it'll be the non-violent criminals. So you're going to get the butt sniffers, the foot lickers, and the I like to expose my private parts in a Walmart kind of people. So because the jail's overcrowded, they're not going to keep these people. They're going to try and hold on to the violent criminals, but these are going to be out there. The ones who offered to buy your daughter at a bus stop, they're going to let them go. Now, listen to this. The article says dozens of women have come forward to recount their own experiences with the same suspect following the TikTok video that went viral. The wife of former Los Angeles Lakers forward Robert Horry also accused Crackhead Crowder of stalking their teenage daughter more than a decade earlier. Crowder has a lengthy criminal record that includes convictions for burglary, robbery, and indecent exposure on multiple occasions. He was also suspected of additional prowling crimes in Glendale. I mean, I'm laughing, but it's just really no laughing matter. It's like it just reminds me of that Seinfeld bit where he's talking about the reservations. It's like this with these criminals. No, the key is to hold on to the reservation. The key is to hold on to the criminal once you got him. A petition has been launched in order to rename an airport after Ozzy Osbourne. That's right, this petition to change the name of an airport in Birmingham and name it after the late Ozzy Osbourne is actually picking up some steam. They get a lot of signatures. As of today, about 45,000 people have signed this online petition to rename Birmingham Airport after the Prince of Darkness. I hope this wasn't a spoiler for you. Are you all aware that Ozzy Osbourne perished last week, along with Hulk Hogan? I mean, unbelievable. I mean, it's a bad week for historic alpha male cultural icons. Anyways, Ozzy is from the UK. He apparently grew up in or near Birmingham Airport. Not really in the airport so much. That'd be kind of weird. Growing up in an airport, I'm not against it. It's better than growing up where I grew up. I'd take an airport. They got clean bathrooms, some of them. I'm already going off the rails. I apologize, but this is an article about Ozzy Osbourne, so I think going off the rails is appropriate. We have here a host of a popular podcast. This guy's name is Dan Hudson. The podcast is called A Gay and a Non-Gay. This guy Dan's also a metalhead. He created this online campaign for Birmingham International Airport rebranding in honor of the Prince of Darkness, who died of undisclosed causes on Tuesday, July 22nd. Undisclosed causes? I didn't know that was what they're calling the technical reason for death. Not the 6 decades of drug and alcohol abuse. No, why would it be that? That's like saying when Keith Richards dies, undisclosed. We just don't know the cause of death. I think we all know the cause of death for such people. Now, just to confirm what I alluded to earlier, Ozzy Osbourne did grow up in this area, a place called Aston. It's in Birmingham, and he co-founded the pioneering heavy metal band Black Sabbath in that city, in case you don't know. The petition for the airport rebranding has more than 45,000 signatures, with supporters posting tributes to Ozzy Osbourne in its comments section. One individual wrote, "Naming Birmingham Airport after Osbourne would be huge and the best nod to him possible." Another person wrote, "He is the only celebrity I ever shed a tear for. Thank you so much for everything, Ozzy. You are loved and you will be missed by the world." Well, sounds like a very passionate fan of Ozzy. No doubt signed the petition to rename the airport. I'll say this about it. A train station might be more suitable. I mean, right? He had that Crazy Train song. All aboard! You know the one. I'm going off the rails on the crazy train. Crazy! That's just how it go. I actually dig that song very, very much. And so, yeah, I think a train station would be hilarious. Crazy train station, you could call it. Crazy train station. I love that. And just make it like a bonkers train station. What, you didn't end up at the correct destination? Well, that's what you get for taking the crazy train. What did you think was going to happen? You were going to get to your intended destination? Hell no, this is the crazy station. Just be thankful you didn't go off the rails, all right? Because you can go off the rails on the crazy train. They're shooting for the airport, though, and considering John Lennon has an airport named after him in Liverpool, I don't know, maybe there's a chance that the Birmingham airport could be named after Ozzy. People are signing the petition. I don't know if these online petitions are very effective at doing anything. Does anybody know? Can anybody verify this? Has anyone ever seen an online petition actually create real change in a big way in the culture? I'm not sure, but it's a start anyways. It would be funny and weird and quirky, so, I mean, I support it because of these reasons. I love when weird stuff happens in the world. It's just so fun. You could change the airport code to Ozzy as well, O-Z-Y. And then you could say fun things as the captain of that flight. We are now on our final approach to Ozzy International Airport, also known as Hell. Buckle up. And let's pay tribute to the Prince of Darkness as we fly batshit crazy. A man is suffering from PTSD after he woke up in the middle of an organ harvesting procedure. This story is out of Lexington, Kentucky. The Department of Health and Human Services is investigating organ donation practices after a Kentucky organization allegedly began harvesting organs from people who may not have been fully dead. Oh boy, you thought you had a bad day, huh? Well, let me present to you this man and maybe some more who woke up during organ harvesting procedures on their own bodies. I'm not dead yet. Yes, you are. Well, you're pretty dead. No, I feel like going for a walk. Ah, nonsense. You'll be stone dead in a minute. No, I don't want to be on the cart. What do you say? I don't want to go on the cart. That's Monty Python, as you probably know. You've heard it before on the show. I'm so sorry. I repeat jokes that aren't even mine, but I can't help it. I feel like going for a walk. We have here a House subcommittee held a hearing last week on organ donation safety lapses, which are concerning them. Oh man, how many of these have happened? How many people are waking up in the middle of their organs being taken out to be sold on Craigslist? I don't know. What do they do with these organs? They say you're donating them, but I have a feeling somebody's profiting off them, and that's why they're removing them slightly too early in the process. We have in this story a gentleman named T.J. Hoover. Oh, T.J.'s had a bad day. Let's read about it. He was declared brain dead after suffering an overdose, but his sister Donna says the doctors attempted to harvest his organs while he was still showing some signs of life. His sister says T.J.'s eyes were open and tracking movement during his honor walk when family members gathered to say goodbye before organ donation surgery. So he was awake during this, I guess we call it an honor walk. Never heard of this. I guess the family gets to line up and slap him in the face on the way by to make sure that he's really dead before they start taking out his liver. Now, the sister reported that about 45 minutes after TJ was taken to the operating room to have his organs removed, they say the doctor informed the family that they had to stop the procedure. The family was told, quote, I stopped it. He's not ready. He woke up. Natasha worked as a surgical preservationist on TJ's case, confirmed that he did show signs of life during the organ harvesting procedure. He was moving a lot, just thrashing, not very settled. Showing signs of life, that's an understatement when you're about to, take out somebody's lungs or whatever. How does this even happen? I mean, if you claim somebody's brain dead, I mean, I don't know. It would seem that that's obvious. How do you screw that up? How does someone come back from brain dead? Right? You might want to get the brain dead part right before you move on to the next level of procedures, which are very invasive, by the way. They actually involve removal of major organs that one needs if one is going to continue living because they are not brain dead because you screwed up a diagnosis. I mean, TJ's going to get a good story out of this, though. We can all admit that, right? He was brain dead. So you were diagnosed as brain dead? Tell me about that, TJ. Well, at the time, let's just say I was partying pretty heavily and nightly, I might add. Have you ever chased ketamine with 200 proof moonshine? Yeah, that's where I was at the time. Now, the article says that the sister didn't learn the full extent of what actually happened to her brother until she was contacted by Martin, a former surgical preservation coordinator who had been scheduled to take over TJ's case. Here's a quote from Martin. I was really surprised that morning he had been taken to the cardiac cath lab. He was paralyzed and sedated and moved on with the OR. The hospital staff said they were incredibly alarmed, calling it euthanasia. The cardiologist said he didn't know why TJ was given a poor prognosis. He said it didn't look like it was brain dead at all. All right, it just sounds like a bunch of morons, being in charge of very important decisions at these hospitals. I've railed against doctors before because they think they're smarter than the rest of us, but they're really not. They just decided to stay in school longer than the rest of us because they like books. I'm joking, but kind of not. Right? Just because you went to school for 10 years and I only went to school for blah, blah, blah. I mean, come on, right? We're talking about, these are situations that I keep coming across, and they have nothing to do with what you might or might not have learned with your extra years in a very specified college or university. It all comes down to very poor common sense, which is not something you're going to get in college or a university. They don't have it, many of them. And you get situations like this. All right, I'm going to get off my soapbox. I'm so sorry. I'll tell you right now, though, this makes me very reluctant to check off that organ donor box on the paperwork. It really does. Makes me scared. The last thing I want is to be on an operating table when I don't need to be. They're taking my organs a little too early. The doctor's like, nurse, this is a very chatty corpse. Could you please pass me the knockout gas? We can't move forward this way. He's cracking jokes. He thinks he's a comedian.
Hey, it's Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Now, I was looking for fun ways to tell you that Mint's offer of unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month is back. So I thought it would be fun if we made $15 bills. But it turns out that's very illegal. So there goes my big idea for the commercial. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
Weird news. That's just what I do. I sit in a closet, recording for you. Hi. Let's reel it in, Jonesy. I want to give thanks and praise because over the weekend some people decided to support Weird AF News and Jonesy. Let's begin with Sharon and David Roth, longtime fans and supporters of the show. They joined. They became a monthly supporter via my Buy Me a Coffee plan. So you can actually buy me a coffee one time, but you can also commit to buying coffee every month for me. So that's what Sharon and David did. Big commitment, big time supporters of the show. We're grateful. They wrote me a note too. Hi, Jonesy. I listen to you in bed while my husband David and my dog Rexter snore on either side of me. Truly the best part of my day. Thank you. So Sharon wrote that. Sharon likes to listen in bed with her poor husband David, who gets forced. He has to suffer listening to my voice at night while he's trying to go to sleep. Can you imagine? Poor guy. Got to give a shout out to him. He's doing God's work, they say. They call that. Adam Mobley bought me a coffee off my website, weirdafnews.com. Adam wrote, I must say, Jonesy, like a ever weird closet star shining all the brighter in these strange days where the flickering lights of men's hearts and minds are threatened by many darknesses, shadowed by soulless madmen screaming apathy and more for me. You are the ascending star burning away crappy planned, stress-inducing news. Burn with closet weirdo ferocity. Burn with closet weirdo ferocity. I love that. I'm going to use that, Adam Mobley, this poetry that you just so graciously wrote me. Very creative guy, very good with words and language, Adam Mobley. I'm very impressed with you. Moving on, Nurse Joy bought me a coffee as well, and she wrote, there you go, Jonesy. I love hearing you all animated from being caffeinated. Woo woo! Been listening to your podcast for years. Saved my head from going crazy, especially during the pandemic. I'm so grateful for your weirdness, our weirdness, LOL. Keep up the exceptional work. Much love for you, Jonesy. From Joy Deer, from the First Nations Reservation of Kanawake, Mohawk Nation of the Iroquois Confederacy. Traditional dancer and Nurse Joy. Keep being weird AF. Cool. Yeah. Nurse Joy, longtime fan. Yeah, big supporter of the show as well. She's been listening for a long time. So shout out to Nurse Joy. Keep dancing. We have here, Mello also bought me coffees. Mello wrote, thanks, Jonesy, for the joy you spread in a weird way. You're keeping this weird family both entertained and informed. Well, so I'm entertaining Mello and Mello's entire family. So I don't know where they are or what they're into, but they like Weird AF News, and that's enough for me. So thank you, Mello, for the generosity. Mitch and Allison Che bought me coffees as well and wrote, hi, Jonesy, time for another coffee break. So very sweet and simple and to the point. Shout out to Mitch and Allison. And then we had some new patrons. Isaac just became a member of the patronage. Isaac is now a patron of the arts. If Isaac was not already a patron of the arts, Isaac, congratulations. You can now consider yourself a patron of the arts. And I believe it's a tax write-off as well. And you get a good feeling knowing that you're supporting the arts. If you want to call this art, I don't know, Isaac. You be the judge. But shout out to Isaac for joining the Patreon, dude. Appreciate the support. That's really cool. Please enjoy that extra weird content that's in there. I posted something in there today. Very strange documentary that I watched. Okay. Also, Amira rejoined the Patreon, so we want to give her a shout. Amira is, like me, a resident of California. She's been a longtime supporter of Weird AF News. And she's a wonderful individual who owns and runs a quasi bird sanctuary up in north of Los Angeles. A lot of ducks and whatnot she takes care of. So she's a lovely person and a longtime supporter of the show. So shout out to Amira. And that's all the support that came in over the weekend while I was away at Lake Tahoe for my friend Joe Prano's wedding, the wedding of Mr. Joe Prano, a longtime comedian friend of mine from New York. Shout out to Joe. He's got an awesome podcast, by the way, called The Dirty Sports Podcast. If you like sports and you like jokes, then you'll really enjoy that podcast. It's very cool. I'm a sports nerd, as you know, so I get excited to get together with my buddy Joe and talk sports. Him and I are producing a show in the middle of August near downtown LA. If you happen to be around for that, it's going to be awesome. So follow me on the Instagram for all that information at Funny Jones. Yeah, going to be doing a great show. Sorry, I had to take a little coffee break. Anyways, I hope you had a lovely week. And if you want to support the show like all of these wonderful people have done, then go to weirdafnews.com, and that's the place to do it. A lot of people reached out to me congratulating me on 6 million downloads as well on the podcast, so thank you for that. I appreciate that. It makes me feel good when I can accomplish stuff. I'm not someone that's always been able to really stick to one thing for a long time. I get very bored creatively and in other ways in life. Let's not talk about women, but yeah. But I find it difficult to stay on the course of something. I get bored very easily. But this podcast I've been able to stick to for 6 million downloads, which blows my mind. Now I know on the whole scheme of things it's not a lot. And there's the most popular podcasts get 6 million per episode. But for me, 6 million total is like kind of a big deal. So I'm very proud of it, and I want to thank everybody who wrote me about that and made donations based on that as well. So thank you so much. Appreciate it. Hopefully we'll be around for 6 million more. Maybe. I don't know. Hey, if there's a closet, there's a way.